My name's Ben Allan. I am in my 4B term as of right now. My major is political science. I'm actually in the Arbis program as well. So I took the PSI 494 SLICC course. The reason that I sort of originally did it was because I thought that I had to. I know that one of the things you have to do as a requirement is an experiential learning course. The reason I chose this one in particular, though, is because it gave me a lot of agency over sort of choosing what I wanted to do. A lot of choice with regards to topic selection and such. And so it gave me sort of a lot of creativity over sort of how I wanted to conduct my research. The topic of my project, it took quite a bit of refinement because I had a couple topics I wanted to get into first, but I ended up settling on doing sort of the rental crisis in Ontario, and in particular, the rising rates of rent eviction and other predatory eviction practices. One of the skills that I sort of find that I lack, at least because of my program in particular, is that I tend to be very uncreative and unwilling to step outside my bounds. So creativity skills were honestly one of the things. I know maybe it's not super common to go into a course looking to improve creativity, but for me that was something that I found was a very unique opportunity to be able to improve with the SLICC course. This was a really cool experience because I found a lot of people were willing to help me. I got to talk with this really cool, PhD student who was able to give me a lot of guidance. The instructor, of course, was really helpful as well in guiding my learning. I was able to have pretty much weekly office hours. She basically just had her door open at any time that I needed to go talk to her. Was great with emails as well. So as much as you might be sort of alone in that you guide yourself, there's always help available to you. I also had the opportunity of reaching out to a different professor on campus and had a whole interview and everything with her. So it was really cool that just sort of everyone was willing to help guide me in my project. So the instructor in particular, they honestly play kind of a backseat role. They play more of an important function in helping you determine what would be a good topic to sort of get into. So I found that for me at the very start is when I spent most of the time sort of in the office of my instructor, having her sort of go in, okay, this is going to be able to, help you. No, you need to refine more on this project. You're looking at something that's too broad. I found once I had sort of established my topic, I was able to sort of go to her more just to give updates about my learning. There was a couple times where I needed to have like advice, uh, but it was more just about like helping you get the right footing, I guess, going forward. And then, pretty much, at least in my experience, it was sort of a backseat role from there that she played. So the slick changed the way that I approach problem solving, in that it sort of made me rethink how to go about solving issues. So, like I had sort of mentioned earlier, creativity was a big thing that I sort of wanted to build on while doing this, and this was finding creative solutions to problems as much it was as about having a creative final project. Um, so there was lots of different, sort of statistics and stuff that say maybe I wanted but didn't have access to, and it was about finding those statistics and that type of information, sort of in a creative fashion. I think in most traditional courses, at least from my perspective, you take sort of the backseat role, so you don't have any leadership skills. So the two biggest skills I think, I mean, in addition to creativity, was the sort of leadership skills, and that you're taking leadership of yourself, and that you have to guide yourself through the course for the most part. The other thing that I think I eventually learned, but wasn't sort of fully expecting going into this, was communication became a really big aspect of the course. Um, in that you have to be willing to reach out to people. I mean, that's sort of the simple fact of it is that as much as it is independently led, you can't do it by yourself, I feel. You have to be able to reach out to people that are gonna be able to help guide you through the process, and at least you're gonna get more sort of, engaging content that way. As a political science student, reflection wasn't something that I had ever done. So reflection for me through this process, was a way that I had to sort of learn to categorize my own thoughts. It wasn't something that I had ever really, been able to do before, so it took quite a bit of, learning in that for me. But I found that reflections, especially near the end, really were useful for looking back at the various sort of stages of my progress. Um, and so they really sort of just help categorize the course. So I'm definitely using the skills that I learned, in life, not just in the academic sense, but also beyond that. The skills are sort of very fundamentally important, and they're skills that you don't really get to learn in other academic environments. I also found that a really cool experience with the SLICC is that the content that you get to learn is, at least in my case, directly applicable in other courses. So it was really cool to have this sort of wealth of knowledge that I was able to build up and then directly use in my future academic experience. I definitely think it was cool to engage in something that was. I would say that I'm definitely passionate about the issue. As a student, I think the rental crisis right now um, is very sort of close to all of our hearts. But in particular as well, I work with the homeless through volunteer experience, and so I see sort of firsthand impacts of some of these sort of predatory eviction practices, which is again what my project was about. And so I think it was really personal to be able to get to go into sort of great research depth on that particular subject. But beyond that, I think it was also really important that I got to have now knowledge, which again has become very, very directly applicable in my other academic endeavors. The one thing that I think I learned in Slick that has sort of stuck with me is that people beyond just sort of your professor or your TAs are a lot more willing to assist you than you may initially think. Um, which may not seem like a huge novelty, but for me, I had never even really went to office hours prior to SLICC courses. And so when I went through the experience and you're forced to sort of communicate and you're forced to reach out to these people in order to sort of better your understanding of this particular topic, you learn this it's maybe not as scary as it might initially think, and that people are kind and they're willing to discuss things with you and they're willing to help you learn in a very deep and meaningful way. And I think without the slick, I never probably would have been put in a position where I had to reach out to be able to expand my understanding. And so I think that I will take that with me through the rest of my academic endeavors and beyond that. In that, yeah, people maybe aren't as scary as they might seem.